6 months ago, I bought this Polo GTI, and now that the honeymoon phase is over, would I still buy it again today? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my 6-month review on this Polo GTI. I'm going to look at the good, the bad, and everything in between. So let's get into it. So let me take you back to June of 2025, when my Polo Vivo just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I had the car for about 3.5 years, and at that point I was like, okay, it's time for an upgrade. So when I was shopping for a car, I wanted something that could do both. I wanted something that was both quick and fun when I felt like driving, but also something that wouldn't annoy me on a daily basis. I didn't want a car that felt too hardcore or too uncomfortable, but I also didn't want something boring. Polo GTI AW really stood out because of that 2-liter TSI engine, the DSG gearbox, and the reputation that GTIs have for being great all-rounders. On paper, it looked like the perfect balance between performance, practicality, and comfort. And after 6 months, I can say that that's mostly been true. So one of the first things I think you'll look at when buying a car is the drivability of it and the comfort of it. As a daily driver, the Polo GTI is honestly very easy to live with. In traffic, the DSG gearbox is smooth, it's predictable, and it doesn't feel jerky or annoying. The car feels compact and it's easy to place on the road, which makes city driving and parking stress-free. The visibility is decent, the seating position is comfortable, and you don't feel like you're driving something that's constantly on the edge. Even on longer drives, the car stays comfortable, the seats offer good support, and the road noise is minimal, especially after I put on new tires. Overall, it's a car you can spend a lot of time in without getting tired. Let's talk about the ride quality, because this is something a lot of people ask about when it comes to GTIs. On good roads, and I mean good roads, which is something us South Africans find hard to come by, the Polo GTI feels solid and planted. It handles bumps well, and it feels stable at speed. But on rougher roads with a lot of bumps, potholes, you do notice the firm suspension of the car. It's not unbearable, but you're definitely aware that it's a sporty car. For me, it's an acceptable trade-off, but if you're coming from something that's very soft or comfort focused, it's something you need to consider before purchasing this car. So let's talk performance. The Polo GTI pushes out 147 kilowatts of power with 320 Newton meters of torque. It's got a 6-speed automatic DSG transmission and a front-wheel drivetrain. The 2-liter TSI engine is one of the biggest reasons people buy this car. It's the same engine that VW puts in their Golf, the Polo's older brother, and honestly, it doesn't disappoint. This car, on paper, is supposed to take you from 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds. I'm yet to test this claim. The power delivery of the car is smooth, the turbo response is good, and there's always power available when you need it. It doesn't feel underpowered, especially for a car of this size. And paired with the DSG gearbox, the whole drive just feels sharp and responsive. Whether you're cruising or you're pushing it, it just works. Now, what's one term that always comes to mind when you think Polo GTI? All jokes aside, when you start driving this car as it's meant to be driven, that's when the Polo GTI really shines. Put it into sport mode, put your foot down, and the car completely changes its character. The acceleration is strong, the DSG shifts quickly, and the car just feels eager. On twisty roads, it feels confident, predictable, and easy to push without feeling sketchy. It's the kind of car that makes you want to take the long way home, and that's something that I just don't think I'll ever get over. So, I managed to bag a car with a couple of extra features. These include the panoramic sunroof, Because I mean, is it even a Polo GTI without one? A rear view camera, parking sensors with park assist, the digital dash, the push to start button, heated seats, and the electric folding side mirrors, to name a few. So, I want to talk a little bit about the interior of the car, the technology, and then also the build quality. Inside the Polo GTI, it still feels modern and well built. I mean, this car is now almost 5 years old, and I don't think it has aged a lot compared to the newer models. The digital cockpit still looks great, and the GTI details in the car add some personality. Overall, everything feels solidly put together. However, I know a lot of other people experience rattling and stuff like that when driving. For me personally, I haven't experienced that. After owning it for 6 months and it being an almost 5-year-old car, I feel like the build quality has held up well, which is something I can appreciate from PW. Now, the infotainment system is good overall, but it's not perfect. I will mention that it can be a bit laggy at times, and some of the touch controls can be annoying. Now, it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something that you'll notice. And it might annoy you if you're someone that gets easily annoyed by those kind of things. Ish, now let's get to the part that makes my wallet cry. Fuel consumption is one of those things that really depends on how you drive. When you're cruising on the N1 or you commuting calmly, the numbers are actually decent. But let's be honest, most people don't buy a GTI to drive it gently all the time. When you start enjoying the performance of the car, the fuel consumption definitely increases. For example, a full tank of petrol can cost me anywhere between 800 and 900 rand, obviously depending on the price per liter at the time. When I'm driving it to and from work on a daily basis, that tank can last me about 2 weeks. But when I put this car into sports mode, that tank will barely last me 2 days. So yeah, I mean that'll give you the picture of how much this car can eat petrol when you are driving it spiritedly. The running costs are about what you expect. It's not cheap to own, but it's also not ridiculous. If you budget properly, it's very manageable. So for insurance, you're looking at about anywhere between 1.2 and 2.5 thousand a month. If it's anything more than that, then bro, it's daylight robbery and you should probably get another quote. Insurance costs are typically dependent on factors such as age and claims history, so it definitely depends on the individual. Now, another cost you need to take into consideration is service and maintenance. I did mention in a previous video that I currently have an active maintenance plan on my car. It is, however, something that I'm going to have to renew at some point. It's important to note that service and maintenance plans do not include the replacement of tires. So that's another cost you're going to have to take into consideration before you purchase the car. To give you an idea, when I replaced mine, it cost me about just over 6,000 to replace all 4 tires. Now, if you'd like a proper breakdown on the service cost of this particular vehicle, I'd highly suggest you check out Fueled Life channel here on YouTube. He recently did a video where he breaks down all the costs, and I'll link it down below. Is the Polo GTI a practical car? For a performance hatchback, I would say yes. The boot is a decent size, the rear seats are usable for passengers, and it works well as an only car. You can do road trips, daily errands, and everything in between without constantly feeling like you're compromising. But I would say this only applies to people who intend to have a single passenger or the occasional 1 or 2 passengers in the back. I would not recommend this car as a family car simply because of its size. Now, the boot space does decrease compared to a normal TSI from 351 liters to 305 liters. This is due to the battery being placed in the boot of the car as opposed to the front of the vehicle like in the normal TSI. Now, if you're someone who travels a lot and needs a lot of boot space for luggage, this would be another thing to consider before purchasing this car. So, what do I love most about this car? When we look at the pros, the Polo GTI is a really well-rounded car. It does so many things well without feeling like it's trying too hard. You get performance, comfort, practicality, and quality all in one package. And that's what makes it so special. That's what puts a smile on your face every time you start up the engine. It's a literal pocket rocket that gives you just enough pops and DSG farts when driving in sports mode. It's the iconic signature red stripe on the grille, the red stitching in the interior, the GTI logo plastered all over this car so they know who's coming. There's just something about the look of the AW specifically. It's aggressive enough to look sporty, but still sophisticated, and that is classic GTI heritage. Another pro to the car is how well it holds its value. I have an almost 5-year old car now, and its price has barely dropped since it was released back in 2021. But of course, no car is perfect. So when we look at the cons, it's important to mention that the ride can be really firm on bad roads. The fuel consumption can skyrocket when you're driving hard. Then there's the infotainment system, which can be finicky at times and definitely needs improvement. Another con I thought I had to mention in this video is the fact that these cars are extremely popular targets for theft in South Africa due to the high demand for their parts for resale. So it makes it a high risk vehicle for owners because thieves are constantly looking out for them. But overall, these aren't deal breakers for me. They are, however, important to mention if you're seriously considering buying one of these cars. So, after 6 months of ownership, I can honestly say that I'm still very happy with the Polo GTI. It's met most of my expectations, exceeded some of them, and hasn't given me any major reasons to regret the purchase. So, knowing what I know now, yes, I would still buy this car again today. So yeah guys, that's been my honest 6-month ownership review of this Polo GTI. I've properly lived with this car. I've driven it daily during the week to work, on weekend trips. So I think I can confidently say I love this car. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. It has its moments, but I think the good parts outshine those by far. So if you're considering getting a Polo GTI, I hope this review could help you make that decision for yourself. If you have one already, I'd like to know what your experience has been so far. If you're just shopping around, let me know what other cars you would consider good competition for this car in its segment and price range. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. Please drop a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. I'm going to be dropping a lot more videos this year, so stay tuned for that. I'll catch you guys in the next one.